Hello and welcome to Kits and Wagers. I am Adam Zdroik, joined by Chris Owen and who is this? John McKetchney. Oh, he doesn't have a name tag on him. Yes, RotoWire's own John McKetchney. Welcome to Kits and Wagers for the second time this season. You took over before, was it back in October, November?
That's right.
Welcome into the dynamic duo we got here.
Yeah, it feels good to be on the bench here, chopping it up, talking some soccer here, and I'm a real font of knowledge, so really, I'm sure you guys will be leaning on me a lot during this one.
Yeah, we got the Sounders jersey. You guys are going to the Sounders match on Saturday against the Galaxy. We have a little, this is a Premier League show, but we got a special MLS bet right here at the start. John, who is your pick in this match?
I'm not going to fly 3,000 miles across the country to do anything less than to support my beautiful Seattle Sounders. So, give me the Sounders. What's it, plus 120 over there on the DraftKings Sportsbook? Give me all of that. Galaxy, they're going down. Everyone knows it. Sounders are due. That's the great gambler's fallacy, but no, it's true this time. Sounders just have it, and we got the home field advantage. We got the loud stadium. We're going to be in attendance, making it even louder. I mean, this is free money I'm printing out for y'all right now.
All right, there we go. Free money plus 120 on the Sounders. Chris, what do you have to say about that?
I'm actually going to go the other route here. The Sounders have struggled to begin the MLS season. They've lost both games, haven't scored a goal. They've been playing in CONCACAF Champions League the past couple weeks. They did get a big 3-0 result over Lyon. I think that was that Wednesday night, and so they're playing on a short week. It's the beginning of the season. MLS teams not really necessarily built for these short weeks and don't have the biggest roster. So because they haven't won yet in the MLS, and LA Galaxy have won their first two games, they beat New York City FC 1-0 a couple weeks ago, and then they went into Charlotte for Charlotte's inaugural franchise opening match, and they also won that game 1-2. So I think I like the odds. We'll double up the odds from what John went with. They're at plus 250 on DraftKings, so I think I'm going to go with the LA Galaxy there. And then another layer of that is the fact that I think the last 4 Sounders games I've been to, they've all either drawn or lost. So I just don't feel particularly confident in me being in the building and them winning a soccer match.
It's reasonable enough. All right, well, there you go. That's MLS Corner. John, are you okay? You're taking off.
I won't distract y'all any further. Give good people the good EPL content that they need. But thanks for having me on, y'all.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thanks for the bet. Thanks for the Sounders bet. We'll see what happens.
Sound off.
All right, Chris, what's your kit? What do you got?
So we're going to be talking about this match, and it's my guy. So I had to whip out the Leicester City Jamie Vardy jersey. He has struggled with injuries throughout the season. But I believe, did he score last match week or the match week before?
He's hurt. Did you know? He's not playing.
Okay, well.
He's hurt. He just got hurt, actually. He has like a knee injury.
Okay, well, good stuff. I guess I probably should have checked that out before. But we are going to be talking about the Leicester City match. I love Jamie Vardy. Not going to be playing, but so I figured I'd whip it out here. I've done enough of the Sounders games and enough of the Sounders jerseys, enough of the Liverpool jerseys. So I had to go back to the well with a good one.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm just going back to
is that a
Adam Zdroik? Yep, Adam Zdroik, Dirt Kite, number 17, Pure West. I didn't know what to pick out. I had a couple choices, but I didn't want to think about it too much. I saw this blue and gold beauty, and I just put it on. So here we are. We got back to the high school days of Adam Zdroik.
Love it. Just knocking goals in by the boatload, I imagine, back then.
That's right. Yep. At least I think it was 1.21 goals per 90 minutes was my stat at the end of the day. Except we played 80 minutes.
Your expected goal total?
Yeah, my expected goal. Well, that was my expected goal is 1.22, and I scored 1.21. So I was really efficient, as you can tell. So
yeah, right in line with what we'd expect from you.
All right, so here we go. Odds page at rotowire.com, sports betting. We're going to be talking 3 matches as usual, giving our best bets. And first match of the day, we got a slow Saturday because we've had a busy midweek. We got Manchester United home against Tottenham. Manchester United plus 140, Tottenham plus 195. You can get the draw plus 245. You got two teams with two fan bases that, it seems like it's pretty much off and on every match. It's either this team is awesome or Manchester United get hammered by Manchester City. Tottenham dominate Leeds or they lose against Burnley. So what's going to happen in this one?
Great question. I think most noteworthy here is the opponents that they faced recently, and then this is a huge week for Manchester United. Obviously, they're going to play Tottenham here this weekend, but are they going to be looking ahead to next week's second leg of the Champions League against Atletico Madrid? So we're asking a lot out of them. Tottenham, in their last couple matches here, they won 5-0. They beat, was it Leeds 4-0? So they've been scoring goals the last two matches. In the middle, sandwiched in the middle of that, they did drop that pretty devastating FA Cup match to Middlesbrough. So we're getting a little bit of everything from them. I think that just given United are on they're in a very compact schedule, and the fact that it's a really important week, I think I like Tottenham here. You don't get a ton of value when it comes to the over goals. You're to get plus odds, you're going to have to go to over 3.5 goals. That's plus 175. If you really felt confident, minus 140 for over 2.5 goals isn't my favorite. So I'm kind of shying away from that myself, but I would take Tottenham in this particular match. I think, plus 195 is really good odds. And I think that just given how they've played the last two matches, finding the back of the net consistently and facing a United side who are going to have a really tight week, I think I like them in this particular match.
Yeah. I didn't even mention, so Cristiano Ronaldo missed the midweek match. He has a hip problem. Apparently he was training today. He may be able to start. Edinson Cavani also may be able to start. We don't know what's going to happen. They started Anthony Elanga at forward midweek, and then they had Sancho and Pogba on the wings. And doesn't look like McTominay is going to be able to play. So that's the main thing. As for Tottenham, they're pretty healthy. I don't think they have really any questions there. They've been starting Kulusevski, Son, and Kane up front, and they've been pretty dynamic. I guess Segnen's out, but Sergio Reguilon has been playing there on the wing for him. My original lean was go with the over. I was looking at both teams to score, no draw kind of thing. You can get plus 145 on that. The one worrying thing is that it seems like Manchester United play more defensive at home. If you look at the recent results, there's been 6 goals in their last 5 home matches. Some of that has to do with matchups, recent games against Watford, Brighton kind of thing. So that kind of has me tentative. I know both. I keep seeing these managers come out. It's like last week it was Norwich were in a must not lose situation. I've seen managers this week. It was Ragnick. It was like we can't lose this match against Tottenham. Like this is a race for the top 4 kind of a thing. And obviously, like the home match, Tottenham both bound for top 4. And you look at the Tottenham results, and as I mentioned, you got the random loss at Burnley in there, but you also have the 3-2 win at Manchester City. You got the 4 goals at Leeds, 3 goals at Leicester. So I'm going to still lean for some reason, this Conte Spurs team is scoring more than is playing more. I don't know. Maybe they're better on the counter than his previous teams have been, but the Tottenham's matches have been more high scoring than I guess previous Conte teams, I guess you could say. So that's kind of where I'm leaning with that one.
Yeah, 13 goals in their last 4 matches. They scored 3 on one of the best back lines in the EPL in Manchester City. Obviously, Leeds have their own defensive issues, and then anytime you can go out and score 5 goals, last week, I think that's a big deal. And yeah, definitely think that Tottenham's got a much better chance here than Manchester United, especially if Cristiano Ronaldo's out of the lineup.
Yeah, well, do you think they're better with Cristiano Ronaldo or someone like Cavani? I don't know. There's been times where it's kind of like the Lukaku situation at Chelsea. It's like maybe they're better without Lukaku, and maybe Manchester United are better with someone like Cavani on the pitch because he just fits what everyone else does.
Yeah, that's a tough decision here because both Lukaku and Ronaldo came in the summer. We expected them to just knock in goals by the boatload, and they haven't really been. I mean, Ronaldo a little bit more so than Lukaku has, but they haven't been doing it to the level that probably everyone thought. And so I think, Ralph Ragnick is definitely like a system coach, and he kind of, we've seen in the past at his previous clubs that he can kind of just plug players in and they perform to his style. And a player like Ronaldo is kind of like an outlier, whereas he kind of has always just played his own game. He's, just a super freak athlete. And yeah, I think they might, weird to say, but I think they might be better off with Ronaldo out of the lineup.
Oh, man. All right. No love for Ronaldo. And reminder, I still got the under 20.5 goal bet on that.
So I know we need to, going back to our previous futures podcast where Adam took, he still has the under, you say 20.5 goals for Ronaldo this season?
Yep.
It's looking pretty good.
It's looking good, but hey, we still got 10 weeks left, so nothing is guaranteed yet. All right, so next match, we're going from a top 4 battle to, we always have to include a relegation battle. It's just inevitable on kits and wagers. So we're going Leeds. Yes, Leeds is in the relegation battle. They are playing terribly. They're home against Norwich. We can get Leeds even though they're playing bad, minus. So Jesse Marsh is his 3rd match as the Leeds manager. They're minus 175 to win. Norwich plus 475. And then you have the draw at plus 330. You can get over 2.5 goals, minus 150, over 3.5, plus 155. And then under 2.5 is plus 125. Are you going with Leeds? What do you think?
Oh, it's so tough to see them at minus 175 when's the last time they won a game? I think we have to go. I have to double check that, but we have to go back like months almost. And so they lost. Was it 3-0 to Aston Villa midweek? They're on a short week. They haven't scored that many goals. Norwich, on the other hand, they did find the back of the net yesterday, also on a short week. But I think just based on the fact that I can't take a team that's struggled as badly as Leeds at minus 175. I don't feel great about that. But if on the other side of that spectrum, Norwich City, if you go double chance, you can get them at plus 145. So you're going to get a draw or a win here. And you're getting, honestly, pretty good odds against the Leeds side that has struggled. They're on their second, manager in 2-3 weeks here, and they can't seem to find the back of the net. So I'd honestly prefer Norwich at plus 145 on the double chance as my bet on this game.
I do not disagree with that.
It's insane to see them at minus 175.
Yeah. I mean, Norwich, they need points. I thought they would have put up some better fights recently. They kind of killed me. Maybe not killed me, but they were unfortunate, I guess, to lose. It was last weekend against Brentford, and I can't remember I might have had them to win. I might have had them win or draw. I know they're underdogs in that match, but like they came out in that match, they're firing right away. They're outplaying them the first 20 or so minutes, and then Brentford got kind of a random goal for Ivan Toney, and then they got two unlucky PKs against them. And in the middle of that, Norwich had a PK that wasn't called for them. And so it was just an unfortunate match overall. Like, you see the 3-1 loss home to Brentford, but I don't think that the number there isn't that bad. And then, I mean, there are other games between those. It's just been a difficult schedule. So I don't think Norwich are playing terrible, but I am kind of surprised the over here is minus 150, which is unfortunate. I do think there's going to be goals in this match. So Dean Smith basically came out today and said they want to play more up and down because they opened that Chelsea match with 5 defenders pretty much. They played 5 guys on the back line. And at halftime, they swapped it up, got rid of the 3 center backs, went back to their 2 center backs, played more attacking. And I think it was 1-1 in the second half against Chelsea. And I think like Norwich, they're not going to sit back and accept bottom of the table, 17 points. Like, they're not going to accept that. I think both these teams, I still don't know what March's plan for Leeds is, which is why it's kind of difficult here. They played pretty well against Leicester, and then Aston Villa was pretty tough. They're a 3-0 loss, but I think there's going to be goals. I don't know if I want to over 3.5 goals at plus 155. I'll say I like that. That is a lot of goals in a Norwich match, but I think this could be a spot where maybe both teams are scoring 2 goals.
Yeah, we the swap from what they were playing under Marcelo Bielsa to what Marsh is operating under now. It's just been, we haven't seen any. They played much better in that first game, and then the 3-0 loss to Aston Villa. You didn't see any of those changes that you kind of saw in the first match, where they looked to improve and obviously drop that game in a major way. There's some huge matches on the slate, and this one is maybe the one that I'm going to be eyeing the most. The other one being that the previous match that we talked about. But when we get to the, as we call it, the business end of the season here, these relegation matches are my favorite part of it, because these like might be like tear-inducing losses if they don't pull them out. So I'm intrigued by this one the most, and I just don't understand why Leeds is so heavily favored. They're getting like odds where if it was like a top 5 or 4 side playing one of these, mid-table to lower tier table teams, that I don't think they've honestly earned. And so I still think I like Norwich in this, and I'm not the goals spectrum of it. Whereas Leeds haven't scored, they haven't scored in the past 2 matches against teams who have conceded goals. So I just don't feel super confident about going with the over either myself.
Yeah, Leeds allowed the most goals in the league, 64. Norwich second in the league at 61. So there you go.
That does make sense, but we're gonna have to see a Leeds side start scoring some goals, unless we think Norwich is gonna put up like 3 to 4 goals.
Speaking of goals, there is a slight chance Patrick Bamford returns to the starting 11. I'm not sure if he's actually ready. He played 32 minutes, I want to say, in their last match. But again, I mean, he really hasn't played much since September, so I'm not sure he's actually going to get the start. But if Bamford's in, he kind of changes everything for him. Like, totally. When he's on the pitch, he's like, we saw it last season. So I mean, both teams to score here is minus 150. I'd consider both teams to score no draw. That's plus 140. So you're getting, instead of, betting on the over 3.5, you're still getting like a 2-1 type of result. So,
yeah. Do you think, would it be Rodrigo or Dan James that drops out of the starting 11 if Bamford comes back in, or somebody else? I feel like, they're playing with, we have Dan James as the forward on RotoWire.
It kind of, I'd say Rodrigo would drop, but I mean, it just depends. Like I said, Jesse Marsh, like he's done a 4-2-3 in these first 2 matches, but like if you look back at Leipzig, like he tinkered constantly when he was their manager, and I mean, sure, a lot of that was some poor results, and I guess he's coming off 2 poor results here. And then I mean, they lost Junior Firpo, he's going to be out, so. Stuart Dallas has been playing midfield, so he's probably going to move back to left back. So they're going to have to swap some things around. Like there could be, I don't know, 3-4-2-1. Like that would allow pretty much all those guys in with Bamford, and you'd probably kick like Click out of the lineup or Forshaw out of the lineup, that kind of thing. So it's, we just don't really know what Marsh is going to do after 2 poor results. Like there's a chance he just changed the formation. So that's something to watch out for, though.
Yeah, totally.
All right. So in the next match, we got Arsenal home against Leicester. Arsenal did not have a midweek match, and that's kind of why I like them. Leicester, they played Thursday in the Europa Conference League, and we got Arsenal minus 200 to win, Leicester plus 500. You can get the draw plus 360. This is another match expecting goals. This one over 2.5 is minus 160, over 3.5 plus 155, and then under 2.5 plus 125. So almost the exact same implied goal total as a Leeds Norwich match. Are you thinking Arsenal in this spot as well, or what?
Just in the beginning of the season, when we did our first futures podcast, I talked about how Mikel Arteta might be the first, the next manager sacked. And what has he gone out? He's gone out and just made me look like a fool. So I think I can't necessarily go against Arsenal here. They're playing so well lately. They've won 4 straight, and prior to that, they drew another match. So it's like they're playing great. They're pushing for that top 4. I mean, they're currently in the top 4 with 3 games in hand on United and West Ham. So I think, I got to go Arsenal here. And as you mentioned to begin the podcast, no Jamie Vardy, which is a pretty big deal for Leicester City, who seem to they go as Jamie Vardy goes, which has been the case for like the last 5 years. But I think Arsenal, given their current form and given the fact that Leicester are going to be missing a key piece, I think I still am going to go Arsenal in this particular one.
Yeah, wrote about this match. Was almost going to make it my best bet, but rotowire.com got the usual betting article up. I have Arsenal -1.5. I just like that they're going to be rested, and Leicester is not going to be rested, and they're already battling. They don't have a ton of depth in their front, and then they have their issues on their back line. Pull up the expected starting 11 here, but like Chidowry, basically a defensive midfielder, has been playing right back for him. There's a chance James Justin comes in. He started midweek, but I doubt he starts twice on a short week. Ricardo Pereira isn't also an option, but he's coming back from a muscle injury. So you got those questions. James Maddison also isn't a guarantee to start because he also has an issue. So like you have all these questions. There's a chance Maddison doesn't start as well. And they played midweek. And then you just look at Arsenal. I pulled up their – oh, sorry. I wasn't even looking at the lineups page here if you're watching. But I pulled up the table, and I was surprised to see Arsenal have 9 home wins in 13 matches. 9 home wins in 13 matches. That's 22 goals scored, 10 goals allowed. And then you look at Leicester here. -7 goal differential away from home. They've lost 6 of 12 matches away from home. So, all the numbers here point to Arsenal scoring goals, scoring against inconsistent back line, and, going against a team that doesn't have Vardy and may not be starting someone like James Maddison. So, all signs point to Arsenal here.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was just taking a peek at some of the anytime goal scoring odds here. It's been interesting to me to see Alexander Lacazette typically leading Arsenal's anytime goal scoring, but he's like what, third on their no, he's only got 4 goals, 3 goals this season. So below him you can get Emile Smith-Rowe, who should be back from COVID. He was out for COVID, I think, right? And so he should be back. He had scored in his match prior to being absent for the past 2. And then Bukayo Saka you can get at what is he?
Plus 160. I kind of like Saka.
Yeah, same. He scored in 2 of the past 3 matches. You get pretty good odds there. So I think I would entertain the idea of that if I was like, maybe there's an anytime goal scorer I want to go for. Leicester, not great defensively. So I think I would entertain that one.
Saka has a goal in 6 of his past 8 matches.
Boom.
Or he has 6 goals in his last 8 matches. So, he has, I don't know, he's been their top goal scorer more than Lacazette, who plays basically as a central forward. So, plus 160, I guess you can, you could throw that in, same game parlay type, get a goal in Saka, Arsenal -1.5, and do something else with that. And I think that's the route to go. Just, we'll see you can wait and see what Leicester's lineup looks like, but
yeah.
All right. Any thoughts on this Monday standalone match? We got Crystal Palace at home against Manchester City. The reverse fixture was the random Crystal Palace won 2-0 at Manchester City. Any thoughts on that?
City are just too good. Crystal Palace play what it seems like everybody really tough, but I think City are just too good for them to drop this match. They're I don't see a way where I guess there could be a potential way because there always is, but I think City are just too much of a well-oiled machine, and they should play pretty much everybody this week. So I don't think that I don't see Crystal Palace taking points away from this one.
You can't see a way after Crystal Palace won the last meeting? Come on.
I don't think City are too good. And this might be a little reverse psychology here as a Liverpool fan. I kind of I'd be like, yeah, drop points. Where I'm rooting for them to hopefully, in my head, City are too good to drop points. In my heart, I'm hoping they drop points, but I just don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I think I won. I was gonna look at Crystal Palace like +2 or something, but those are not as good odds as I was hoping. It's like
Yeah,
minus 150 or something. So I'm not gonna touch the +1.5 because that's just always a slippery slope with Manchester City.
totally.
All right, so best bet time. Who should go first? So we were both incorrect last week. I guess we gotta. I guess we gotta
Tough one
go.
for us. Yeah.
Guess we got to do this. So, Chris, you pointed out Brentford to beat Norwich or win or draw against Norwich or something, and then you picked both teams to not score in the Manchester City Manchester United match.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was 4-1. I think that was over in one of those bets. I was over in the first 20 minutes
22
because
minutes. Yeah.
okay, yep, Manchester United got that goal, and then I didn't do anything smarter. I maybe it was maybe the op maybe it was worse. I don't know. So I was I was confident in the over in that match. I think the over 2.5 was like -110. I could have called it a day. I could have taken that. Instead, I was like, no, I think both teams are going to score because Southampton, they've been scoring against everyone. Ward Prowse has been putting goals in from free kicks every match. And then it was, nope, 4-0 and another loss. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to go first now because
Do it.
we were both wrong. So,
Do it to him.
uh, I'm just going to stick on Aston Villa here. And it's just been, they just been living in my head all season.
They
And
really have.
I'm not sure I've gotten an Aston Villa best bet correct this season. So this is going to be it. This is going to be it. I'm looking at Aston Villa. You can get them on a draw no bet at +145. And I don't they shouldn't be this big of underdogs in this matchup against West Ham. So West Ham, I already mentioned Leicester. They had a midweek Europa match, and West Ham, they played Europa League. They were at Sevilla on Thursday. West Ham are +140 to win. I know it's home, but Aston Villa are playing really well. Like this was something that we kind of saw coming going in the break. They had a couple bad matches, but it looks like they're finally figured things out under Steven Gerrard. And Jared Bowen is not going to play. He's been their best player this season. Like you take out Bowen, they're already struggling to score. Their last, you can look at the last 3 matches: 1-0 at Sevilla, 1-0 at Liverpool, 3-1 at Southampton. Okay, those are difficult matches. We can look at recent home matches, but it's 1-0 against Wolves, 1-1 against Newcastle, 1-0 against Watford. Then they got a 3-2 loss against Leeds in there. So, iffy competition, low scoring matches in which they're relying on defense. But I don't know if you can rely on your defense right here with Aston Villa playing the way that they are. They're cruising right now. Coutinho is awesome. Like they only had 1.29 expected goals in that match, but you can get them at plus odds for a draw no bet. Like I think it's reasonable to take. Actually, sorry, I wrote these odds. I think I wrote these odds down yesterday. It's now +120. So there you go. The money is coming in Aston Villa. You can also get them at +250 to win. So it looks like it's only +120 now, but I still like it. Draw no bet there, Aston Villa.
Yeah, and the way Villa's been playing, they've 3 straight shutouts, score multiple goals. I looked at this one too, and I think Aston Villa's in a better place to compete. But they have a huge end of the season too, which is interesting. They're mid-table 9th, I want to say, but they play West Ham, then who's currently sitting in 5th, I believe. And then they've got Arsenal the next match, who are 4th. And then they've got Wolves who are pushing for it. Tottenham's pushing for Europe. Liverpool, Leicester City. They've got a really tough end of the season here. So it'll be interesting if they can string together some wins. And yeah, I definitely thought Aston Villa is just playing better overall. So I'm intrigued by this bet.
Yeah, +120. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so the last couple of weeks, I've been, I do a little research here. I'm looking at the sports books, and I see something that I like. I write it down, and I just skip it over. So this has happened to me 3 straight weeks. And then, as we talk through it, the matches, I'm like, actually, I think I'm going to switch my best bet mid-show because I get to talking about it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, actually, that does sound better. The more that I, explain it to myself. This week, not even going to entertain that idea. I wrote down Burnley is playing Brentford this week, and the over 2.5 goals is plus 140. So the over is pretty low. They played earlier this season, and I believe it was a Brentford win 3-1. They haven't played. Burnley won 3-1.
Yeah.
And they haven't played since, I think, prior to that, it was like 2016. So we don't have a huge sample size on previous matches, but that was the previous one that we can look at. And so I think, over 2.5 at plus 140, you're getting good odds. Seems like a kind of a no-brainer for me. That's my best bet.
Two of the worst offenses in the league over?
Yes. Over 2.5.
All right, yeah.
Like a 2-1 result here. Hopefully pull me out of the doldrums of what's happened the last couple of weeks and just see what I like, go with it.
Yeah, so the match, I mentioned the Norwich Brentford match earlier. So Brentford finished with 2.10 expected goals, which is not very much considering they had 2 PKs. I just want to point that out. But
I'm going with what I got here, Adam.
No, you should not listen to me. 100%. 100%. Yeah. I mean, both Burnley, they need points. Let me pull up the table here while we're talking. Burnley need points. Brentford are fine for the most part, but we got Burnley here at 21 points. They're sitting in relegation, and I don't know. They're going to have to come up on someone. Leeds and Everton are sitting right there, but yeah, I mean, okay, let's do it. Over 2.5 between Brentford and Burnley. We can get plus odds. So both our best bets are plus odds. So, that's just more money to the people, more money. All right. Well, we got any more tidbits to give to the people? Liverpool, Mo Salah. What do we got for his goal odds here? They're at Brighton here. I considered taking Liverpool minus 1.5, but I decided against it. But we got minus 110 on Salah, plus 135 Jota, Mane's plus 160, Diaz plus 170. What do you got?
Honestly, I mean, Salah hasn't scored in 3 matches, but he did hit the post twice this week against Inter Milan. Could have been sitting on a hat trick. I would take minus 110. That's not too bad for Salah from what we've seen in other matches against a similar opponent. Yeah,
but what do we got? Joe Mott up here plus 1,400. He hit the post too. So should we take that bet?
I mean, just considering he plays center back, I would say no.
Oh, well, he's probably going to score now. That would point it out.
I mean, we saw against who the heck was that when he took a little 1-2 and then just chipped it past the keeper. That was a couple of weeks back. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was Leeds, wasn't it? Because it was 2 Salah goals, 2 Mane goals, and then
yeah, it must have been. It must have been. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to go with Joel Matip plus 1,400, then look for a big payout.
I'm just gonna do Matip, Mane, Salah parlay. That should be some good money right there.
Yeah, let me know what you find, and maybe we can go in on that.
All right, that's been Kits and Wagers. My best bet was draw no bet for Aston Villa plus 120. Chris took over 2.5 goals between Burnley and Brentford. That is plus 140. Chris, you got a busy weekend ahead. You and John, you're going to the Seattle match. You got head-to-head battle there. Seattle plus 120, Galaxy plus 250. Drink a lot of water. Stay safe.
Yep, we will. We got the 3 TV set up here. We're gonna watch a little March Madness and just do our thing. And it'll be good to get John out to a Sounders game. And hopefully I'm wrong about the Galaxy. Hopefully the Sounders can get back to their winning ways.
Are you a Badgers fan? Basketball Badgers fan. Okay.
Born and raised. Hometown.
All right. Well, I gotta.
You got your Sparty out? Yeah, Adam.
All right, we're going against each other.
Yeah, we're going at it here, and we got tipping about 2 hours 15 minutes.
Yep. This is basketball and wagers now. But since you're watching this and like wagering, I put out I'm putting out constant betting college basketball content. I had
As a machine.
I
Adam is a
tweeted out
machine.
3 games this morning. All of them hit. That's right. We got college basketball winners on this podcast. We got soccer winners on this podcast. We got everything. What else do you need? All right, Chris, thanks for joining me. This has been Kits and Wagers, Gameweek 29 in the Premier League. Rotowire.com. Go there, watch our videos, listen to our podcast, like and subscribe. Chris, thanks for joining me. Enjoy your weekend.